Today we live in a world of uncertainty. We are perplexed by the things going on around us, both in the world and for most part, personally even. It can be a difficult challenge to heed God and His whispers of comfort to us in a noisy world today. And I want to share some good news with you. God is there with you, and He sees and hears our cries if we will only listen. Stay tuned today for a powerful message of hope. And welcome to this week's episode of Living Hope Today. And I'm your host, Torrey Antone. And I want to say that I am so honored to have you joining me for this broadcast today. You know, you are very special to me, and I'm glad that you have taken your time to watch this broadcast today. And we hear from a lot of you folks, and we're always glad to know that you have tuned in and you're watching our broadcast. And that means a lot to us, and that is so special to know that you're watching. As we get close to the American holidays here of Thanksgiving, next week actually, we appreciate you tuning in. In fact, next week's broadcast, kind of take note of this, next week's broadcast will actually be on Thanksgiving Day. It will be on Thanksgiving Day. It'll be released that day. So I hope that you'll watch it. And what we're doing on that day, too, we're going to make it a little shorter, the broadcast, I think. I'll try to, when I go to record that, I'll try to make sure that it's a little shorter for everybody so you can get back to the dinner table and eat with all the family. Yeah, we Indians don't like to miss our dinners. So that's that's an important part. But I hope you'll watch us, because next Thursday we will be doing a broadcast and a special Thanksgiving broadcast at that. So I hope you'll plan to join us. And I appreciate, like I said, I appreciate you so much, to those of you that follow us. And I hope that you'll be sure to follow us and like us here if you're watching on our Facebook page. And for those viewing on YouTube, may I encourage you to be sure to like us, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified when our next program is available to watch. That will be a good way to notify you when the program's getting ready to come on. So I hope you'll do that. You know, it's been good to hear from viewers from all across the world. And we welcome you to our weekly broadcasts, no matter where you may be viewing our weekly episodes. It's fun to hear and get emails. We get emails from many of you. You'll see our email address at the end of the broadcast, but you can email us and watch us, send us an email, or you can send us a letter. Or you can actually comment right here at the bottom of the page. Make sure you do that. You can comment and let us know if you're where you're watching our broadcast from. We'd love to hear from you. And it's, like I said, it is a joy to hear from so many people. We've always had a great following in Europe, throughout Germany and France and Belgium and places like that. We get a lot of response from there. So we are happy that you are watching us and taking time to be a part of our program here on Living Hope Today. Well, on this week's broadcast, I want to share a devotional about our need to take time to just be still and listen to God. And as I mentioned at the beginning, sometimes it can be really difficult for us to stop our busy schedule of work and our busy, perhaps your home life, or just take some time off from the TV and all the discouraging news we see and hear every day. And sometimes it can really just drag us down emotionally, that sort of stuff. Well, today, I want to give you some encouraging news, and that's the fact that we need to just be still and to look to Jesus, who can bring encouragement, peace, and comfort for our weary souls as no other can do. So I hope you'll stay with me, because this is going to be a blessing, I know, for all of us. So stay tuned. But before we get started, Let's listen to Oklahoma Native soloist. And I love this lady, Jeane Bearpaw, as she sings a beautiful song. I want you to listen to it, Sheltered in the Arms of God. And we'll be right back.
I feel the touch of hands so kind and tender. They're leading me past that I must trod. I'll have no fear, for Jesus walks beside me. For I'm sheltered in the arms of God. So let the storms rage high, the dark clouds rise, they won't worry me. For I'm sheltered safe within the arms of God. He walks with me. None of earth shall harm me. For I'm sheltered in the arms of God. Let's go up to thee. Soon I shall hear the call from heaven's portal. Come home, my child. Well, it's the last mile you must walk. I'll fall asleep and wake in God's new heaven, where I'm sheltered in the arms of God. So let the storms rage high, the dark clouds rise, they won't worry me. For I'm sheltered safe within the arms of God. He walks with me. Not of earth shall harm me, 'cause I'm sheltered in the arms of God. Forever sheltered in the arms of God.
All right. I hope you enjoyed that wonderful singing there by our good friend Jeane Bearpaw, native soloist from right here in Oklahoma. And I hope you enjoyed her singing. Last month in October, our family, we always take an annual vacation. And we went to one of our favorite vacation spots in the mountains of Colorado. Our family loves the cooler weather. Probably because here in Oklahoma, it is always so warm, so hot. Our summers, we had an exceptionally long summer this year. I think we felt like it because up until even October, we had extremely warm weather. It was unbelievable. We had temperatures that were in the 90s. And that might happen down south in Florida or Alabama or somewhere parts of the United States or maybe where you are or where you're watching. But here in Oklahoma, that was very warm. And so we like to get out of that. We like to just get up into the mountains, enjoy it. And I think the mountains are our favorite of our family. We've been doing it for so many years. So we go up to Colorado. And it was actually a fun trip for Gloria and me because we all traveled in just one vehicle with my son Timothy and his family, and that was a blast. We were all fit in there, but you know what? We had a great time. There was lots of laughing, and I got to travel with our smallest grandchild, Callie. And that was probably the highlight for me, to be able to spend some time with my cute little 5-year-old granddaughter, Callie. And, to Papa, she could never do anything wrong. But as I was talking to my son on this trip, he was telling me something that a Papa didn't want to hear. I just didn't want to hear this. And he told me that when Callie steps out of line, which I still can't believe, they have what they call a timeout chair in the corner of her bedroom. And her mommy, Amber, tells her to go to the timeout chair and just sit quietly and think about why she was sent there, and to reflect on why she was sent there and what she did. Of course, I refuse to believe that ever happens. Not my baby girl, Callie. No way. But it's a way to get their attention and let them think about what they have done. Well, I got to think about this. For us, God, our Heavenly Father, uses a similar tactic on His children. And He encourages us to stop what we're doing, look to Him, and listen. And sometimes it's important to do that in our walk with the Lord. The key verse that I want to use today is one we have read here, or you may have heard many times. It's an admonition found from God, and we can read about it in Psalms 46:10. Look at this. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Yes, what a powerful command to just stop, look, and listen. Just like they have to do with Callie when she gets out of line, which I still don't believe. But anyway, that's what God tells us to do. So what does God really mean when He uses that command? Is it a reprimand? Was He frustrated with us? Well, it could mean something maybe very and entirely different. Actually, you could take that verse and have two separate meanings. One, He could have meant that as a condemnation to get our attention. Or two, it may be a way to let us know that He is there for our every situation and urges us to look to Him for comfort as only He can give. And I would like to think that possibility number two is probably what He was urging, to give us comfort. Maybe just a gentle nudge to remind us that He is always there for us. In this world filled with chaos, if we will be still and talk with God, He will bring peace in the middle of a storm, no matter what we're going through, no matter what chaos is going around us. But His love for us is so great that if we would just listen to Him, He would provide comfort to us like we've never known. So when I think of this verse in Psalms, it says, be still and know that I am God. I can think of many things we should feel in those quiet times with Him. It may be these. It may be that we surrender our will and instead accept His. Or maybe He reminds us that we are not alone. Or perhaps we begin to put our trust in him and trust him more. Give him that attention. Perhaps it's his whispers that are heard, that we hear, telling us what we need to do and comfort us. Maybe peace and rest will be found. Maybe another thing is that he is in control. That he is in control. And another thing that I think about, and that is that we can let go and let God be God. Don't worry about it. Those problems, those situations that we think about. Let go and let God take care of it. You know, if you would read the entirety of Psalms 46, which I really would encourage you to do. We're not going to do it today, but I would encourage you to read the entire chapter of Psalms 46. I know you'll get a blessing. One thing you will note that verse 1 and 2 begins with a comforting message of hope for us. And it says, 1 says, God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Verse 2 says, therefore, we will not fear. Wow, what a powerful encouragement that is. Knowing God in this context means acknowledging and committing to the fact that God is the only refuge that we can find worth running towards. The only refuge that will stand strong through every circumstance, every situation, no matter what we may be facing. And that could be a message you need to hear today. You know, when we take time to pray and talk with God, he hears us. And we can be confident that our prayers never go unheard. That's why quiet time with God is so important. It's a time we can clear away all the garbage we encounter in life. It's really a time to really renew ourselves. Romans 12:2 clearly gives us good reason to be still and give God our time. And it says this in verse 2, and do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. Now, I believe when we take time to be alone with God, he truly will renew our minds. An important and regular aspect we need to practice daily to help us through every situation is time alone with God. Take time to be alone with him. Take time to read his word. Take time to talk with him and pray and ask God to help you in every situation. So, the question I ask you today, how often do you take time to be still and know that you have a God who is willing to hear you and talk with you to help you in your time of need? Or perhaps you may not have a specific need, but desire that time just to get away, to draw closer to the Lord. A time of refreshing, a time of reflection on all things God has done for you. And maybe a time to give God all our praise and thanks for his blessings he has bestowed on you. You know, that's kind of what we did, as just taking a vacation, as I mentioned at the beginning of this devotional. Our time just to get away from our normal thing that we do. a time just to be with family, a time to get out of the environment that we're in. Well, you know what? We can apply that to our spiritual lives as well. A time to just get alone with God, to be still, to listen to Him and hear Him. And with next week, at the same time, we'll be celebrating Thanksgiving here in America. And I think there is no better time than now to go maybe to your prayer corner, not your little timeout corner, but your prayer corner. Wow, I guess we could call it a timeout corner. And talk to God. Be still and realize that you have a loving Heavenly Father who really longs for those quiet times together with you. And know that the confidence that He sees and hears you, because He does. Believe me, you will greatly benefit by doing this daily. So let go and let God have His way with you. And I promise you will never be the same. I trust this devotional was a blessing to you as much as it was to me. I needed to hear this. I needed to preach to myself today. We all need to hear words of comfort like these in the busy days and hectic world that we live in right now. So be still and let God speak to you. I hope you'll make plans to join me again next week at this very same time. As I said, we will be broadcasting on Thanksgiving next Thursday, and I hope that you'll plan to join me. We will try to make it short and not too long, but we hope that you'll plan to be with us next Thursday for the Thanksgiving edition, and I have something very special for you on Thanksgiving on Living Hope Today for our program. Until then, may the Lord bless and keep you.